unser nächster Referent, Luciano Ruggia. Er ist Geschäftsführer der Arbeitsgemeinschaft für Tabakprävention in der Schweiz. Die Organisation hat zum Ziel, das Nichtrauchen in der Schweiz zu fördern. Auf der Website habe ich gesehen, dass unser Land immer noch eines der Schlusslichter ist in Bezug auf den Schutz vor dem Rauchen und dem Einfluss der Tabakindustrie. Darum jetzt sicher das Thema Jugendschutz aus Sicht der Tabakprävention Schweiz. Ich freue mich sehr, Luciano Ruggia begrüßen zu dürfen. Er wird sein Referat wahrscheinlich in Englisch halten. Ich lasse mich überraschen. Vielen Dank.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, I will have my. I will speak in English because I'm from Ticino, so I'm already sparing you. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, but you should switch to the presentation mode, please.
Okay, just a second. It's better like this.
Perfect.
Okay.
Let's go.
Wonderful. So yes, I will talk in English because I'm from Ticino, so I am already saving you from a presentation in Italian. So I'm the director of Arbeitsgemeinschaft Tabakprävention Schweiz, and we are mainly financed by our members and by the Tabakpräventionsfonds, as disclaimer. So we heard quite a lot about the potential eventually of e-cigarettes or ends in order to stop smoking or reduce consumption. But Reto hinted a little bit that other problems are also connected with electronic cigarettes. And for us, one is really to protect the youth. And to protect the youth, the problem is how to regulate electronic nicotine delivery systems in Switzerland. And what are the relevant questions? First of all, I want to remind you that ends are available in Switzerland since a bit more than 10 years, but the prevalence, as Reto already mentioned, is stable in the last 10 years at 27%. And at the same time, the absolute numbers of smokers increased because the population in Switzerland increased of about 1 million. So with such a prevalence, we should consider to have at least 200,000 more smokers. Ends are freely available on the market. There is no limitation of, say, age to buy such products. There is no federal limitation, just in some cantons. I will go over that. And as Reto mentioned, they are cheap and they are not, they don't have any taxes. So the question, a question for everybody of you is if ends are so effective to help people to stop smoking, why we do not see any change in prevalence in Switzerland in the last 10 years. And this is certainly also, there's also linkage to prices, as Reto mentioned, and actually the real price of a package of cigarettes at Migros is $5.50. This is the lowest price that you can find. Now we say, or many people say, that nicotine is not so dangerous for the health. Yes, but for young people, especially under the age of 25, it is known that during the development of the brain, nicotine can have very negative impacts, especially on the activity of the brain cells, linked to attention, learning, memory. It can also worsen anxiety, irritability, impulsivity. So it is not harmless, especially for young people. Now, what is the legal situation in Switzerland? As I mentioned, we do not have a law on tobacco products. This law is still in discussion in the parliament. So there is no federal limitation, age limitation to buy any products, actually. We are the only country in Europe with Kosovo that has no age limit to buy cigarettes or any other product. We only have cantonal laws. And in 2 cantons, we have no limits for cigarettes. But for electronic cigarettes, only those 5 cantons have some sort of regulation for the sale of electronic cigarettes. And as long as we will not have the federal law on tobacco products, kids and young people will have easy access to those kind of products. What we know from some research internationally is that if in young people the consumption of tobacco products remains stable but at a high level, at the same time the consumption of other tobacco and nicotine products is increasing quite dramatically depending on the country and conditions. In Switzerland, we have very limited research and knowledge on the consumption of certain products in young people. I just choose a few of the things that we have in 2015. We already knew that electronic cigarettes were very popular among adolescents, and this is going on, this is increasing. But we also knew that knowledge and data were missing. Now in Lausanne, the study of Addiction Suisse showed that in 2018, at least 50% of young men of 15 years old already tried electronic cigarette, and 34.8% of young women. And the consumption during the last month is 20% respectively, almost 13%, again, for young people of 15 years old. Recent study in Zurich is also telling us that 1 out of 5 young people of 13 years old already tried electronic cigarettes. And I think this is absolutely a scary number, and we should consider that very seriously. Now, already Reto spoke a little bit about advertisement, and we know that all the industry is aiming at young people with various kind of strategy, using more and more digital media and social channels like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, in order to promote the products. And we can see that this kind of images are really aimed at young people. And we should not be blind at what the industry is trying to do. The industry is trying to create a new generation of people addicted to nicotine in order to continue to sell their products. Another problem linked to that for electronic cigarettes is the use of flavors, and Aurélie also mentioned a little bit that, but I'm trying to present that in another way. This is what you find in web pages in Switzerland about flavors for electronic cigarettes. Now, please don't tell me that those kind of flavors are designed or thought in order to help adult smokers to stop smoking and to switch to electronic cigarettes. I think here's the focus is really to attract a new kind of public comment. So the real question is really how to regulate electronic cigarettes in a country like Switzerland. Again, I remind you, there is no regulation. There is nothing today. And we should consider what are the interests, the goals of a public health policy, and those are not exactly the goals of an individual health policy. I can very well understand that if Reto is receiving a patient in his study, he can suggest to use a certain kind of product or an electronic cigarette. But this is totally different from what we should do and have as a discussion at a public health level. So in a regulation discussion, to assist smokers to quit and avoid dual use is only one element that should be considered. So it's a kind of striking a balance between the public health interest and the individual health interest. And as an association, ATE is much more worried with the public health aspect of this. So I'm trying very hard to come up with a model of equation of what we could say an harm reduction intervention or impact of the use of electronic cigarettes into society. So we already saw some elements of the toxicity of the products comparing one product to others. But this should be balanced with the health impacts of the consumption of those products and with the risk of addiction that those products also can cause. And at the end, you have what we could say a realized public health benefit. Now, at the same time, yes, we would like also to reduce the number of consumers. It's only by reducing the number of consumers that we could have a long-lasting effect on the public health in our country and on the cost of the public health system. So there we should consider the number, if we intervene, if we have, like we have already on the market electronic cigarettes, we have a certain number of consumers ex ante, so the number of smokers or consumer of nicotine products, and we should consider what the new products can bring as new smokers. There is a big debate on the gateway effect, but there is the risk of dual use, eventually reduce quitting. I'm not so sure that it's always effective. The anti-normalization of nicotine consumption into society, which is also a risk. On the other side, we have the number of quitters. What those products can help us to help, how many people are effectively helped to quit smoke, cigarettes, and finally, eventually all kinds of products. And you end up with the number of consumers exposed. This is a little bit a model on which I'm trying to reflect now to balance the different aspects of electronic cigarettes and other tobacco nicotine products and what the impact they can have on the general population of consumers and what we can do to improve that. And with that, I'm finished.
Ja, vielen Dank für diese eben etwas andere Perspektive, die Public Health Perspektive, die du da hier schön aufgezeigt hast. Das wäre mal die Frage aus dem Publikum, Wie ist die Entwicklung eben bei den Jugendlichen, was die Raucherprävalenz anbelangt, seit eben die Endprodukte verfügbar sind in der Schweiz? Da ist in Europa die Prävalenz bei Jungen eher rückläufig. Wie sieht das in der Schweiz aus?
Also die Frage ist,
ja?
Die Frage ist für mich.
Ja, aus dem Publikum, die wissen, oder vielleicht aus dem Komitee, gibt es Personen, die etwas über die Veränderung der Prävalenz wissen bei Jugendlichen zum Rauchen in der Schweiz seit Einführung der Endprodukte?
Bis jetzt, wir können nicht wirklich sagen, dass es gibt eine große Änderung bei Prävalenz von Raucher in Jugend. Wir wissen, dass in der Jugend die Prävalenz ist viel höher als in Erwachsenen, so zwischen 15 und 25 oder 25 Jahre alt. Das ist über 30%. Und dann später geht ein bisschen tiefer. So, wir haben nicht wirklich solide Prävalenzendaten in diese Gruppe. Wir können nicht sagen, dass es geht runter, leider.
Okay, vielen Dank.
Und wir haben keine Studie über die Gateway-Effekt in der Schweiz. Das wäre sicher etwas, das wir sollten promovieren.
Das war eben auch eine Frage aus dem Publikum, die Studien zur Gateway-Theorie.